Okay, good afternoon everyone. And today we'll solve some more problems on power system stability on swing equations. Take this problem. A turbo generator, 6 pole 50 Hz, capacity of 80 megawatt, working at zero point 0.8 power factor, has an inertia of 10 megajoule per MVA. So first one, calculate the energy stored in the rotor at synchronous speed. Find the rotor acceleration if the mechanical input is suddenly raised to 75 megawatt for an electrical load of 60 megawatt. Supposing the above acceleration is maintained for a duration of 6 cycles, calculate the change in torque, angle and rotor speed at the end of 6 cycles. So solution to this. So energy stored in the rotor, that is given by GH, right? So what is G and what is H here? So G can be calculated by, so there are turbo alternator 6 poles, that is 80 megawatt. So that is called as G. So that is 80 megawatt convert into megawatt to MVA. Therefore 80 divided by power factor 0.8. Okay, so this is called as G multiplied by H. This is G and H is, so what is H? 10 megajoule per MVA. So that is called as H. So total how much it is? 80 by 0.8. So this will use 100 into 10, so 1000 megajoule. So this is energy stored in the rotor. So that is the calculate the energy stored in the rotor. Okay, so this is the first one at synchronous speed. Second one, B, find the rotor acceleration. So the accelerating power, that is represented by PA. PA is equal to PM minus P, right? So accelerating power PA is equal to, what is mechanical power here and what is electrical power. So mechanical input is 75 megawatt. So this is 75. And what is electrical load? 60 megawatt minus 60. So what is your accelerating power? It is 15 megawatt. Right? So what is your swing equation? PM minus PE into, this is also equal to M into d square delta by dt square. This is equal to PM minus PE. This is also equal to accelerating power PA. This is your swing equation. Right? So now, according to this, so we know that M is equal to G into H divided by 180 into F. Okay, so in the place of M, you can substitute GH by 180 F. So what is G into H? This is 1000 divided by 180 into frequency is 50 Hz. That is given in the problem. So calculate it. So what is the value of M?
0.1, sir.
0.11 1 mega joule second. per electrical degree. Okay, so now you substitute this in this equation. So m into d square delta by dt square is equal to m is 0.11 d square delta by dt square. So this is equal to d square delta by dt square is equal to, so how much, that is pm minus p. M into d square delta by dt square is equal to pm minus p, that is calculated 15. It is also called as 15 megawatt. 15 megawatt. Okay, so now all of you got the answer. So now we need to calculate angular acceleration. That is called as represented by alpha. Alpha is equal to d square delta by dt square. This value is 15. This is also called as angular acceleration. 15 divided by 0.11, because we have m into d square delta by dt square is equal to 0.111 into d square delta by dt square into 15. So here unknown value is this one. So therefore d square delta by dt square is equal to 15 divided by, you take on this side, so this will becomes 0.11. So this is equal to alpha, right? So what is the value of this?
135.135, sir.
35 electrical degrees. Electrical degree per second square. This is the unit for alpha. It is also called as angular acceleration. The third one we need to find out. Suppose the above acceleration is maintained for the duration of 6 cycles. Okay, so therefore find out third one, C. T square delta by dt square is equal to alpha. So integrate twice, we get integrate this equation, what we get? So take delta, so delta will remain, integration twice, d square delta by dt square. If you integrate one time, you will get d delta by dt. Again you integrate, again you will get delta, right? So delta is equal to, so half into alpha into t square after integrating twice. So this will becomes delta is equal to half alpha into t square. So in the problem he has given for 6 cycles. Okay, so 6 cycles corresponds to 50 hertz, that is your frequency, right? So that is equal to 6 by 50, 50 hertz. This will gives how many cycles? 0.12 cycles, 0.12 seconds. So therefore change in delta at end of 6 cycles, so that is equal to half into Half into alpha is 135 multiplied by t square, that is 0.12 square. So how much you got? 0.972 electrical degrees, right? So now we need to convert the angular acceleration. What is the angular acceleration? That is alpha. That is, we have 135 electrical degree per second square. We have this one. We need to convert this in terms of RPM per second. Okay. So we need to convert in terms of RPM second. For that, how to convert this? So our delta is equal to what? Half into alpha into t square, right? The same thing. So delta is equal to, so 1 by 2 into, so your alpha is 135. So conversion of degree to degree per second square into RPM. So that is equal to 360, because 2 pi will become 360 degree. So in terms of degrees there, so 135 degrees there out of 360 degree. So whole divided by RPM per second. So second means revolution per minute, it is in terms of minute, convert into seconds, so whole divided by 60. So this will becomes 60, it will come to the numerator, 60 into 135 divided by 2 into 360. How much you got? 11.25. So here t square, it does not comes here. So half into alpha itself, because we are converting into RPM per second. Okay, second square is there here. So if you convert into seconds, so this t square will becomes neglected. So that is not comes. So while converting, so therefore 7.25 RPM per second. So now at the end of 6 cycles, so rotor speed we need to calculate. Rotor speed at end of 6 cycles. So what is the rotor speed? So that is ns is equal to 120 f by p. That is rotor speed is equal to 120 f divided by p here. So number of poles, 120 into frequency is 50 hertz divided by number of poles are 6, that is given in the problem. Okay, so along with that, at the end of 6 cycles, so what we got 6 cycles, so rotor speed, that is we have calculated 11.25 RPM per second for 1 second. So 11.25 is there. So at 11.25 multiplied by, for 6 seconds we have calculated, for 6 cycles we have calculated, that is 0.12 second. So the 11.25 into 0.12 second. So this is equal to 120 into 50 by 6, that is 1000, plus 11.25 into 1.2, you will get 1.35. Cross check the answer. Is it correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All of you got the answer? Anybody having doubts? We'll move to the next problem. Take next problem. A 60 Hz 4-pole turbo alternator rated 500 MVA, 22 kV, has an inertia constant of H is equal to 7.5 megajoule per MVA. Find first one, kinetic energy stored in the rotor at synchronous speed. Second one, the angular acceleration if the electrical power developed is 400 megawatt when input minus rotational losses, that is 740 kilo HP. Okay, solution. Kinetic energy expression Ke, that is given by G into H. So what is G here? 500 MVA, that is called as G. So what is H? 7.5 megajoule per MVA. So this will becomes 3750 megajoule. So this is the first one. Kinetic energy stored in the rotor at synchronous speed, that is calculated. Second one, the angular acceleration. So we need to find out that angular acceleration. So that is equal to d square delta by dt square. It can be found by using the swing equation. So what is your swing equation? That is G by H into 180 F multiplied by d square delta by dt square is equal to Pm minus Pe. So Pm minus Pe, it is also called as accelerating power Pa. Okay. So what is your mechanical power Pm and what is your electrical power Pe? So that is given in the problem. So 400 megawatt. Okay. So that is your electrical power, 400 megawatt, and HP rating is there 740 kilo HP. So that is your mechanical power. Okay. So 740 into kilo HP. Kilo means 10 raised to 3 HP. So how to convert to HP? Multiplied by 746 watt. So therefore 740 into 10 raised to 3 multiplied by 746. Okay, so this is Pm and this is Pe. Pm minus Pe, this will give Pa, that is equal to this much. Now you substitute all the things. How much you got? What is the value of Pm? What is the value of Pm?
552 megawatt, sir.
552.04 megawatt. Okay. So now d square delta by dt square is equal to PM minus PE 552.04 minus PE is 400 and GH and 180F is there. So if 180F comes on this side, come to the numerator 180 and F is frequency is 50, in this case 60 Hertz, that is given in the problem. Look at the problem. 60 Hertz, that is the frequency is given as 60 Hertz. So divided by G into H will come on this side. So what is that G? G into H, that is 500 into 7.5, that is 3750. So calculate it. This is called as angular acceleration, that is d square delta by dt square. That is also called as alpha, angular acceleration. How much you got?
For 37.8752.
437.8 electrical degree per second square. Now you got how the problems are defined and how to solve the problems. Okay, so we will look at the another problem. Go through the third one. So note down this problem. A 50 Hz 4-pole turbo alternator rated 20 MVA 11 kV has an inertia constant of H is equal to 9 kilowatt per kVA. Find the acceleration if the input less the rotational losses is 26,800 HP and the electrical power developed amount to 16 megawatt minus the losses. So what is we need to kind of calculate, that is angular acceleration. Find the angular acceleration, that is acceleration, right? D square delta by dt square alpha we need to find out. We need to find out alpha, that is d square delta by dt square. That is we need to find out. You know the swing equation. You know what is K? K is equal to G into H. So what is your G here? 20 MVA is G. And what is your H? 9 kilowatt per kVA. So that is 9. This total is equal to 180 megajoule. Okay. So swing equation, that is G into H by 180 into F. So this is equal to M actually. Okay. So M we are writing in terms of G into H. Therefore multiplied by d square delta by dt square. This is equal to Pm minus Pe. This is also equal to Pa accelerating power. So what is your Pm? What is your Pe? What is your PM? 26,800 HP. That is your PM. So convert it 800 into 746. How much you get? This is equal to 19.99 megawatt, nearly 20 megawatt. So what is the value of PE? That is given as 16 megawatt. So therefore, PM minus PE is equal to 19.99 minus 16. This is equal to D square delta by dt square is equal to 180 into F into 50 hertz divided by G into H, 180. How much you got? That is the alpha. How much you got?
199.95, sir.
199.5 electrical degree per second square. Okay.
4 finance.
Next one. Next heading is steady state stability of two machine system and power angle curve. Steady state stability of a two machine system and power angle curve. Okay, suppose there are two system. Two system means we'll consider one is generator. So that is the transmitting end, and another one is receiving end. Transmitter and receiver. So that is the load. We have the motor. So in between transformer 1 and transformer 2 and transmission line is present for some so this is interconnected two machine system. Okay, figure 1. So now we need to convert this system into reactance diagram. So generator is represented by voltage source, that is EG, with some reactance, that is called as J into Xg, right? So after generator we get transformer 1. Transformer 1 can be represented by reactance J into Xt1, Next is transmission line, that is J into XTL. And third transformer T2, J into XT2. Then the motor is represented by the voltage source, it is EM plus and minus, and J into XM. Okay, this is the reactance diagram of this figure 1 interconnected two machine system. So let's consider here EG at an angle delta. So initial the generator voltage with the rotor angle delta degree in terms of degree. This is called as internal EMF of the generator. Okay, is the internal EMF of the generator. So next we will consider another EMF source, that is called as EM, that is the motor voltage with a 0 degree voltage receiving end. So that is back EMF produced in the motor of the motor. Okay, then Xg is represented by the reactance of the generator. So this one, reactance of the generator, and Xm is the reactance of the motor. Okay, and what is XT1 and XT2? XT1 and XT2, these are the reactance of the transformer. So transformers 1 and 2, and XTL is equal to reactance of transmission line. Okay. So now in this diagram, reactance diagram, so all the reactances are in series. Okay, so finally we can write it as X equivalent or X total X is equal to Xg plus Xt1 plus Xtl plus Xt2 plus Xm, right? And Eg can be written as, so Eg can be written as, so the current is flowing I here. So there are two voltages are there. Okay, the current flowing through this and voltage drop across all the reactants here to here. Okay, voltage drop across all the reactants, this voltage drop here to here, voltage drop, and this voltage EM voltage. Okay, so therefore the Eg is equal to EM plus J into I into X. So this total we can consider as X. The current flowing is I. J into Ix is the voltage drop. This voltage drop plus this voltage. This voltage is EM. EM plus this voltage drop, this will give the Eg, right? So sending end voltage is equal to receiving end voltage plus voltage drop. Voltage drop is current into reactance. Okay, so that can be represented in vector diagram also. So taking EM as reference, that is the receiving end voltage or back EMF. So current always lagging with an angle phi. Okay, and EG can be represented by like this. So this is called as J into X into I into Jx. Okay. So now this angle is called as delta angle. So therefore EG at an angle delta we can write it as, right? So now take current outside. I is equal to, what happens? EG minus EM divided by J into X, equation number 1. So it's called as figure 3 phasor diagram. Okay, are you following?
Yes, sir.
So network is purely reactive, right? Because it all consists of all the reactances, no resistance part is there. Okay, so resistance is neglected here. So therefore, if it is all are reactive, losses will be zero, right? If only resistance is present, current flowing through the resistance. So therefore, I into R, that is called as current square of current flowing here, that is called as I square R loss. These are called as considered as loss. Suppose there is no resistance, it is a purely reactive circuit, losses will be zero. That is, your copper losses will be zero. So therefore, how much energy we are sending, the power generated, so that is equal to, that is receiving in the motor. So considering this, so neglecting the losses, so if purely reactive, so therefore Pg is equal to P motor. Sending end power is equal to receiving end power with neglecting the losses, because pure reactive circuit. So now Pg is equal to, so real power, so this is P is real power or active power, Q is called as reactive power. Now we are representing S is equal to P plus JQ, right? So P is your real term and Q is reactive component. Okay, so now I want Pg, so that is the real term of this expression, that is given by Eg into I transpose. Okay, so therefore Pg is given by real term of, so Eg, so take magnitude of Eg, and with this angle is delta for Eg, and I can be written as Eg Em by Jx. So all we will write it in magnitude and angle expressed in that Eg with angle of delta. For Eg angle is delta, Em angle is 0, Eg minus, so Em at an angle 0 degree is delta degree divided by x. J can be represented by 90 degree, so x at an angle 90 degree. So I is there, I conjugate is there, put conjugate. Okay, so now Pg is equal to real term of EG at an angle delta. So remove the conjugate. So what happened? EG, the angle will becomes negative when you're removing the conjugate. This will becomes minus delta minus of EM at an angle minus 0. Minus 0 plus 0 both will become 0 itself. So 0 degree divided by x into, this is also magnitude of x at an angle 90 degree is there. When you remove the conjugate, so we'll get minus 90 degree. Okay. So now can write it as EG. This multiply these things, EG at an angle delta, EG at an angle minus delta. When you multiply these two, you will get EG square. Delta delta get cancelled. When you are producting these things, so the angle will becomes, you are adding plus delta and minus delta get cancelled, 0 minus EG at an angle delta and remaining term, that is EG by x, magnitude of x is there. So this 90 degree is there. So that is representing in terms of real form. How we are representing? Cos plus j sine, cos theta plus j sine theta. So cos theta is the real part, j sine theta is reactive part. So when you remove the RE, so it means, so considering real part, so cos of, so that is the angle, that is 90 degrees there, becomes 90 degree. If you take 90 degree in numerator, it will becomes plus, minus 90 will becomes plus cos of 90 degree. So minus EG at an angle delta minus EM at an angle 0. So again here EG and EM will get EG multiplied by EM divided by magnitude of x, cos of 90 degree is there. If it is come to the numerator, plus 90, and delta is there. When you multiply with this EG and EM, angle delta is there, delta and 90 degree is there, so 90 degree plus delta. Okay, so this is your PG. So now this is equal to, so this will become 0, cos 90 into this product, and remaining term is minus EG into EM divided by magnitude of x, cos of 90 degree plus delta is equal to minus sine delta. So thus power angle equation PG is equal to EG EM by x sine delta. Minus minus get cancelled. Equation number 2. Okay, so from this can draw the power angle curve. In that power angle curve, x-axis is delta, y-axis is power. So got the sine wave. This is the 90 degree. This is plus 180 degree. This is minus 90 degree. Minus 180 degree. So we'll achieve the maximum power output we will get at delta is equal to 90 degree. Similarly here also negative max. So this is for generator action. Generator action on positive side, the motor action on reverse side. So in this case, if delta is up to 90 degree, it will become stable region. So this is the stable region. System will become stable up to delta is up to 90 degree. It is beyond 90 degree, it is unstable region. Here also unstable. Motor is unstable here. Here to here, 90 to 180 degree. Right? So this is called as power angle curve. So when we will get the maximum power, Pm is equal to Pmax. So where delta will becomes 90 degree. Okay, sine 90 is equal to 1. So this will becomes Eg into Em by x. So this will gives the maximum power at delta is equal to 90 degree. Get maximum power P max at delta is equal to 90 degree, right? So now it is audible.
Audible, sir.
The delta is lies between minus 90 to plus 90. The system will become stable, and the slope will becomes dp by d delta. That is positive. So this is about steady state stability of a two machines system and power angle curve. Okay, we'll discuss some more problems in the next class. So in today's class we have discussed some more problems on swing equation, and we have studied steady state stability of two machines system. So any doubt regarding today's class? Anybody having any doubt? Is it clear? Okay, we'll stop today's session. Thank you.